What else am I missing? Has anything physically changed in the laundromat itself, or is it just this timeline where we know that this lease is up?
Nothing has changed as far as I'm aware. I was in town. I'm interested in this laundromat. I'm not local right now, but as we discussed, I'm interested in this area. I'm interested in this laundromat, and the lease is expiring. Well, it has expired as far as we're aware. So that's the reason we're calling.
We sent the LOI and we said 80 cents where they said 90.
Right.
Okay. And the LOI was ignored. Who are we calling? Sue?
Yeah.
All right, stand by. Everybody wants to change their leases for the end of the year. It's always really busy right now. Come on, Sue. Phone.
Hello?
Sue.
Yes.
Sue, it's Danny D'Angelo, the laundromat guy. How are you?
Yes, how are you doing?
Never felt better, never had more.
That's good.
As promised, I'm always setting my calendar, and we've had some discussions on the Pflugerville laundromat location.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, if I'm correct, that lease has expired.
It was renewed for 5 more years.
Excellent. Good for you.
Yeah, and we did tell him he had to do some upgrades and clean the place up some. Yeah. So we did. And
Well, I'm
he's been
glad.
there a long time.
I'm glad we're having this moment because, I mean, look, I own commercial properties too, and being steeped in this laundry thing, I've been doing commercial leases and laundromats for 15 years. So in looking at this store, upgrades, cleaning up the place, that's fantastic. And I'm not prying into your tenant or what you plan to do, but let me say this instead of asking questions. If he doesn't renew that equipment, we'll be right back in another scenario where this guy's slow paying or non-paying. You know that. We both know that.
Well, he's always paid. In all the years that he's been there, no matter what happens in the economy, he has always paid his rent.
That's laundromats for you.
Yeah.
The economy
He
never
does.
affects
a lot of people don't like him, but let me tell you what. Yeah, the economy doesn't.
No,
when you think
right.
about it, people still have to wash their clothes.
You got it.
They do.
You got it.
And
Well, we were
happen.
just
like my washer went out, so I'm like, okay, I got to go to a laundromat, and
Right.
this is where you want to make sure they're nice and clean, and so.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you. That's probably 10%. Folks want a clean place to do the laundry. And again, the other 90 is really just equipment. As promised, we're going to keep a close physical eye on this place. You've got a new 5-year renewal. And I would never do that. I consider that as dipping my toe in the water because 5 years will come and go very quickly. And trust me, he's not going to spend the $150,000 on new equipment that it takes to really make a go of this place with a 5-year term. Again, no sour grapes. I just want you to keep my number and keep us in mind.
Sure. I will.
We put that letter.
He may all of a sudden go, I want to retire. Dan. He may go, I want to retire. I want out. He is in a 5-year lease. We do make him sign as guarantor. So, and he's been there forever. And
the store looks like it.
All the years he's paid. Yeah, he's paid all his rent. He always pays his rent. He pays it on time.
You know what's funny, Sue? A lot of these operators have other businesses. They're not solely relying on the income from this laundromat, and that's where the odd.
He owns laundromats all over town.
Even better.
And what he did is he wanted to downsize as he got older, because you have children sometimes don't want to go into the business their dad.
Right.
So,
right.
I know because
right.
I helped negotiate I helped him on a lease on another property where he had a landlord that he wasn't happy with. So he paid me to consult for him. But I mean, he had locations all over, and he's now downsized to about 2 of them.
Right.
Now, I will tell you what's
Well, I
going on in
guarantee
Austin.
this
You've
one's
got
earning money,
living-
or he wouldn't have kept it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He would have gotten rid of it. One of the things that you got to be really careful in Austin is looking at where all those growth areas are going. Because I'm going to tell you what, I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said, I decided to retire. He said, I've been in my business for 37 years. He said, but I loved it. I started as a kid. It was an auto repair place. But he said, the people who I've been leasing this place forever, and somebody came up and offered the owners a ridiculous amount of money for this particular, piece of property, not just his. It had other things on it. And he said they couldn't turn it down. So we've got that going on here in Austin where people are just got money to burn, and they're out there looking at, and then what they do is they wait till those leases roll, and then they.
Right. Well, you look at with any business, you've got cash flow versus an immediate payout, and in my opinion, everything's for sale. That's why right now my partner and I aren't buying buildings because the cost of the building is through the roof. So instead, we're signing long-term leases. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I like you, Sue. I appreciate your style. At the end of the day,
let me tell you, in Austin, it's tough to buy because when the rest of the nation is crumbling, Austin has always held its own. So I've got an owner right now at another shopping center that he calls me up and he goes, let's talk about, do I need to sell my property? And I go, well, it's cash flowing really well for you. We've gotten all the rent rates up. He said, yeah, but I had somebody call me and tell me they'd give me $6 million. And Sean started saying,
you're talking about you do real estate for all these folks.
Oh, yeah, we do leasing.
And when you say owner, you mean another landlord that has another building, sure.
Right. And
well, is he going to earn $6 million collecting rent over the rest of his life? You get to be a certain age? Absolutely.
Right. Well, no, but it's not worth $6 million. And so,
when they get into due diligence, they might give him the $6 million, but they'll probably figure out it's not worth it.
But no, they won't. They won't. In other words, we know what it's worth. But you've got now. I will tell you. So I said, okay, I know the brokerage firms that do that. They call you up, they bypass us, even though we have an exclusive listing, and they get these young kids right out of college because these kids are smart enough to get dumb, but people trust them. And they go, oh yeah, it's worth $6 million. They get you to sign up, and then what it is, they do a bait and switch because they're not. The problem is if somebody doesn't just have a pile of cash. And they do go, I want to buy this for future development. When they go to get it appraised, they want to appraise out. And so
that's what I meant.
There are certain, countries that are.
The difference is you've got people that have the cash. It's the same thing with laundromats. Let me explain. This business is full of fat Midwesterners who buy these businesses and they continue to change hands. You can't get a conventional bank loan to buy or build a laundromat. You can't because the banks are unable. I mean, there's 100 reasons, but the biggest is the banks are unable to see the real books because it's a cash business when it's done right. So what happens? These operators continue to sell them to other operators at greatly inflated prices. Yeah. And it goes on and on. Stores that look like this one. I take an instant snapshot of this laundromat and I see in 5 minutes with a few $1,000s I could change the outlook of this store, but it wouldn't be long term. Ripping up the floors, painting the walls white, it's going to change the outlook of the store for months and maybe even years, but I don't want to fix old equipment. I like your style, Sue. We can always talk about long-term economic benefits of everything from soup to nuts. You've got my email. My name's Danny D'Angelo. Keep my cell phone number. If this guy doesn't do anything and change anything in here, I don't expect you to boot him out. I don't want you to boot him out. But if he doesn't change the outlook of the store with some new equipment, and he's not going to do that in 5 years, absolutely not. With us, we do 15-year terms and we immediately retool. That's the difference. And 5 years is a blink of an eye. We'll talk then. Happy New Year.
Well, so I'm going to kind of tell you, our owners are older, so getting them to look,
Aren't we all?
they're not the ones that are going to look and put that kind of money in for long term. They're not. They would rather just coast until they're ready to sell.
You're talking, okay, but I'm talking about my business operation. I'm not talking about the landlord. When you say the word owner, I get extremely confused. I've got operators and landlords.
Okay, you're an owner.
Well, right. I call myself an operator in this aspect where I want to operate the business. I don't want to own the building, and I call that a landlord.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I'm not asking for TI money through the roof. Because at the end of the day, what's happening in Austin is these buildings are being leveled. They're putting in super centers. They're putting in Amazon delivery centers. And, before you know it, we'll all be flying around in our cars. I hope I live to see it.
Yeah.
God bless you, Sue. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Candy. You have a Merry Christmas. All right.
What the hell?
You're easy to talk to, Danny.
Apparently, yeah. So look, this is what we need to be doing. This is what you need to be doing. Good on you for keeping the timeline straight and putting it in front of me and saying, hey, we need to press a nerve on this store. And Sue, I think we thought that she owned this building. It turns out she doesn't. So she's the real estate agent here. And yeah, she's easy to talk to. That kind of went on a spiral, but at the end of the day, she's willing to give all of that information. And a 5-year lease here is a joke. But she also said, if you let them talk, they'll talk. She also said the operator had a bunch of stores and now has culled them down to a few. And if this is one of his flagship laundries, not good. Keep an eye on it, as is always the case. And whenever anything changes, we need to call Sue back. We could be the ones that end up greasing the skids. We could be the ones to call her up and say, look, it could be something big. The doors are chained. Obviously, the guy's shut down, or he's truncating his hours and now he's not open on Saturdays, which is smaller. Something even smaller, he no longer fills the soda or snack machines that he operates. Not really giving it that college try. That's what we do here. It's never a straightforward square peg, square hole. We have wood shavings everywhere because of the way that we do this, but it always works. Always. As long as you don't quit. You know that.
Thanks, Danny.
I didn't do anything yet. Get after it. Let me know what you find out.
All righty, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a good one.
Cheers. Why not have a live chat? I don't know. People on here. Hi. I don't like to have the live chats. I don't like to talk to myself. This time of year, landlords and folks like Sue who work for several landlords are ready to make a change. It's the end of 2021. And so there's this mindset, let's sweep the floors, clean out the old and horrific tenants, and get this thing done. You know what I do. Maybe you're new to the channel. Maybe all you do is watch me YouTube away. As much as I hate to say it, click the link. Send me an email. I'm not hard to find. I'm closing one of these leases a day right now. It could be you. Ask yourself this. I'm asking you. What's your 2022 going to look like? Is it the same? Is it a side hustle? Is it the job hoping for a raise? I can't tell you how many people I consult with on the phone who tell me, I just lost my 20-year job or 10-year or 5-year. I got a promotion 6 months ago, and they walked me into the conference room and said, we're not going to further your employment. Not ditch diggers, not neurosurgeons, both of those things and everyone in between. As long as you have a job, you are going to be just over broke. As long as you have a job, you're working to earn someone else money. Change it. This is the plan. Own coin laundromats. You've got all these questions, millions of them. Should I be cash or card? I answer that. How much does it cost to operate the store? Well, nothing. I answer that. If we have to make 10 or 15 phone calls, or if it takes you a year to get this done, you're going to be laughing next Christmas. Not concerning yourself with the price of the tree. I got more landlords to call. Click the link. Get my program. You can be watching it in 20 minutes. And I'll help. Happy New Year.